Boston, the greatest sports town in America. Some of the biggest moments in sports history have happened right here. And now, Boston has a new home for sports.
When I first heard about 98.5, the Sports Hub, coming into existence, I was probably one of the first people outside of management to know about it.
I was a DJ on WBCN. Had moved to Boston about 5 years previously, and noticed one day that they took all the WBCN logos off the doors and replaced it with just the company name. I'm like, huh, that's weird. And then we got a new station vehicle that was just sitting out there unwrapped for about a month. I'm like, huh, that's weird. Wonder why they're not putting the BCN logo on that.
My recollection is I was on the 5th floor on the press box level at Fenway Park, and I got a call from Brad Blank, who was an agent at the time. He had spoken to Mark Hannon, who was building the Sports Hub, and said the Sports Hub wants you and they want to put you with Felger potentially at 2 o'clock afternoon drive.
I'll tell you one more thing that happened. Amy Brooks was another WBCN DJ, and out of the blue, Gary Tangway took us both out to play golf and bought us lunch one day. I'm like, oh, that's really generous of Gary. I wonder why he's doing this. Turns out he felt guilty because he knew that WBCN was going to be blown up, and he was going to take jobs away from me and everybody else who worked there.
I got a call from Gary Tangway about 2.5 weeks before the station launched. And he's like, you know what? They have this morning show that needs a sports guy.
I remember I got pretty excited about it. You know, again, I was covering the Red Sox at the time. So I think I texted Felger or called him, I don't remember, and said, hey, do we need to talk?
It all kind of happened quick. I started calling Mike Thomas and emailing Mike Thomas, and eventually was interviewed because I sat in the lobby and waited for hours until he would see me, and then that was probably a week before we launched.
The day before we started, there was a big meeting in a big conference room the day before we started.
Who could forget the first time we heard it in the staff meeting before we even went on the air, right?
98.5 The Sports Hub.
98.5
98.5 The Sports Hub. Where is that? How come we don't use that anymore?
98.5 The Sports Hub by Survivor.
It's the lead singer for Survivor. Yeah, Eye of the Tiger. The guy that sang Eye of the Tiger. Fred talked about the original meeting where we were all crammed in that conference room.
And I had never met Fred. I just had heard a lot of the morning show, and then I met Fred, and it was comfortable right away.
I started to get excited about it because I thought being on a sports station gave people permission to listen to us. I would talk to people and I would say, you know, have you heard our show? And they go, no. Oh, you're on BCN, that's for kids. Like, that's for kids. And I think being on a sports format opened us up. I know it opened us up to a way larger demographic.
You know, it was really a nervous time for me, just where I was in life with, I guess a 3-year-old at the time. And, you know, we had another, kid that was on the way. And boy, how's this going to work out?
I thought we were going to get fired. Before the Sports Hub started, I was certain we were going to get fired. Certain that we were going to get fired at some point early in the run of the Sports Hub.
I always remember thinking that if we could make it 5 years, and at the end of the 5th year, you had made some inroads where we could, sustain and still be a station, like that, I remember that being my goal. Get to 5 years and be a viable business is what I remember.
I think we had a lot of good people that were willing to work together. Like, there was good understanding of what the goal was. There wasn't a lot of petty bickering and backbiting and fighting and toxicity. We just all showed up to do the jobs.